Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to discuss about booleans in Python programming language. If you are new to this channel, then don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you get notified when I upload my next video on Python tutorial for beginners. So let's get started. What exactly is a boolean? So a boolean in Python programming language is something that represents either true or false. So you can be sure that the boolean will either return you a true value or a false value, and based upon this particular output of the boolean, you can then use it for further processing of the statement. For example, inside an if condition, you can use the boolean output in order to determine whether the if condition is passing or is it failing. So if it is passing, you can execute particular set of the statements, and if it is failing, then you can execute another set of statements. So boolean is really important in Python, mainly in order to perform the conditional logics. So let's jump into an example to see how booleans work in Python. So let's get started with a simple example wherein I print a condition, actually an output of the condition, where I say 10 is greater than 9. So we know that this is true, and if I execute this statement, you can see that the output says true. So this is a very simple example of boolean in Python, which tells us that you can do a simple conditional logic within the print statement and it will print you the exact output, which is a boolean. Now if we do another statement here, I will just update the condition here, and we know that this is false because 10 is not less than 9, and if I execute this, you can see that the output is false, which is again our boolean output. Okay, and if I do an equal here, then it should again return as false, and you can see that the output is false. So this means a boolean can have only two values, either true or false, and based on this we can perform certain conditions inside our programming. So let's jump into another example wherein we use the output of this boolean in order to execute a particular set of statement. And to get started with, I will create two variables, a as 10 and b as 20, and the conditional here is going to be something like if a is greater than b, then I print something like a is greater than b. So what we are doing here is we created two variables and assigned them values of 10 and 20, and inside the if condition we are checking whether the variable a has a value more than variable b. So if this condition passes, then we are printing the statement that a is greater than b. So let's execute this statement and see the output. So you can see that the output doesn't show us anything. The reason being a is not greater than b. When the pointer goes inside this particular conditional logic, it sees that the condition doesn't pass and it returns a false here, which is a boolean response, and since it's a false, it doesn't execute the statement here and it goes to the end of this file, so nothing gets printed. So in order to print something here, we have to have a else condition, and then we will print something like b is greater than a. So now if I execute this statement, it should print something. Yes, you can see that the output says b is greater than a, and this is the else condition that we have here. Basically boolean is used in the conditionals, as I told you earlier, and since in our particular example the boolean here was false, it did not execute the statement inside the if condition, rather it went to the else logic here and it printed the statement within the else condition. So I hope the whole concept is clear here. Now we move on to the next thing, which is a function in Python to create the boolean values. So the function name is bool. It is an inbuilt function from Python. So you can see some information here provided from the IDE, which says that it returns true when the argument x is true and false otherwise. So the syntax for this function is bool followed by the brackets and then the value that you want to convert to a boolean. You have to understand that most of the values that you will pass on to the bool function will return true. and there are only a selected list of items that returns false when you pass it as a parameter to this particular function. So let's jump in and see what all values gives us the true value and what all values when passed into the bool function gives us the false value. So let's get started with the true ones. So I will do something here as a, and if you want to show it into the console, we have to close it inside the print statement. I will execute this, and you can see that the output says true, which means for the string a, it returns the value true. So similarly, if I want to make it as Anoop, you can see that the value will be again true, and I can also pass in some integer, say 10, and the value is going to be again true. So for most of the values, as I said earlier, it's going to be true. So let's see where it's going to be false. So there are certain type of values which will return false in this case, and some of them are an empty list, an empty dictionary, the none in Python, and the 0 integer value in Python. So all of these things are going to return the boolean value of false when you pass it as an argument to the bool function. So let's try these one by one. I will comment them out here so that the program doesn't error. Inside the print statement, I have to use the bool function, and inside the bool I will first pass an empty list. Okay, and let's see the output here. So you can see that the output says false, and as expected, an empty list returns false. Okay, so now I will remove the empty list and replace it with the dictionary, an empty dictionary, and we will see the output here. It says false again as expected, and now I will remove it and put none here. So again, as expected, it should say false, and yes, you can see the output, it says false. Finally, we will try the value 0, and if I execute this, it also says false. So these are some of the items which, when passed as an argument to the bool method, returns false. So now comes the homework for today. So what you have to do is create an empty list, and then based on the condition that whether the list is empty or not, you have to print that the list is empty into the console. Okay, so once that is printed, you have to append your name to the list and then create another condition, and inside the condition you have to check whether the list is empty or not, which is again the same thing you are doing that you did earlier, but now you have to print the contents of the list if it is not empty. So this is all you have to do as part of today's homework, and to perform this homework you might want to recall the Python lists and the Python if else elif conditions that we discussed in our previous videos. So I am providing the link to those videos on the top right corner of this video so that you can refer them before you get started with this homework. So if you have any questions regarding this video, or if you have any feedback, please comment below in the comment section of this video, and I will try to reply to your comments as soon as possible. If you enjoyed watching this video so far, then please click the like button below. If you have not subscribed to this channel yet, click the subscribe button as well as the bell icon so that you get notified once I upload my next video on Python tutorial for beginners. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for your time. Take care. Goodbye. See you later.